Hi everyone, there's LAR Games, and I just saw this video which I had no idea existed. Fontaine Tour Group. Seemed like an actual content video with voice acting, so I'm gonna see what this is all about because I don't think I've heard anybody talking about it. Yeah, let's watch it.
So, you want to learn more about Fontaine? Well, allow me to give you the grand
Interesting.
tour. Oh, I bet I'll get a lead on a new story by the time we're done, too. The news seems to follow you around wherever you go.
Is like a final
They say
farewell to Fontaine?
stands above all waters. That's why the water level here is higher than anywhere else around. And if you're wondering whether that makes these waters lakes or seas, you're not alone. It's actually a hotly debated question. If you enjoy expansive scenic views, I highly recommend taking a trip on the Aqua Bus. You can just sit back and enjoy the sights while your Melazine tour guide tells you all about Fontainian culture and customs. Definitely the most relaxing way to travel.
Interesting way to close
The best place to start your
Fontaine.
sightseeing trip is the Court of Fontaine.
This seems like something they would release
It's the most
before,
important
if they
city
wanted
in
to
the
spoil
nation,
things.
at the center of all of Fontaine's affairs. The city is arranged in concentric circles around the waterway hub, which sits right in the middle. Of course, the most important building in the Court of Fontaine is the Office of the Steambird. Just kidding. It's actually the Palais Mermonia, the highest authority in Fontaine and the highest point in the city. All the important government bodies have their headquarters there, from the Office of Judex Nervalet to the Maison Gestion,
She said
the
Nervalet.
Maison Gardiennage, and the Marechaussee Phantom. It's a busy place, but it runs like clockwork. Down on the streets below is where the city really
This is
comes
kind of
to
cute
life.
too, because she's
The
like
Court of Fontaine is renowned for its journalism, art, fashion,
showing
and
him
fine dining,
around.
so it's extremely popular with the tourists. Below street level, down in the sewers, you'll find the city's administrative gray area, known as the Fleuve Cendre. Every light casts a shadow and every city has its underbelly. If you're ever investigating a crime, 9 times out of 10, you'll find a lead here. So any investigative journalist worth their salt makes sure to have a few contacts in the Fleuve Cendre.
Yeah, they
Who are
didn't really
my
go into
contacts?
too big of a
That's top
detail
secret, I'm afraid.
in here.
Luckily, though, I'm on good terms with Navia, so I have an easier time here than some people. It pays to be friends with the Spina di Rosula. As you'd expect in the nation of Hydro, there's a whole world of wonder under the water. Oh, it's so beautiful, and it always reminds me how lucky
I always
am
love
to have
that
a
one.
vision. The only way to go diving without one is to wear one of those big, clunky dive suits. Oh, unless you're you, of course. But you're the exception that proves the rule. The Diluvian
If the
period
Traveler
buried
has the
a lot of our
censorship.
ancient history and architecture beneath the waves. So there's a lot of public interest in deep-sea exploration.
I still have
A
not
lot
been
of
in there.
journalists take advantage of that, but so do a lot of scam artists. I don't know what it is about this place. Every time I come down here, it always evokes a strange sense of bittersweet wonder and hope. Welcome to the Elton Trench, graveyard of ships. People always say it's haunted because
Yeah,
of
they're
all
going
the
to,
boats
like,
that
all
have
the
sunk here
places.
in the past. A few hundred years ago, this is where the White Armada of Fontaine's navy fought a very costly battle with the giant beast Alinas. But they prevailed, and finally the beast that had caused
Oh,
so
so that's
much
what that
disaster
is.
in Fontaine was slain. Its head is right here, and its body became the Alinas Mountains.
Oh,
Wait, what? A ghost ship? Here? Oh, wow. What did it look like? You
I
gotta tell
don't
me
think I've
everything,
done that,
okay?
whatever that is.
Uh-oh. Looks like we've drifted into Liffey region. Oh, careful.
This is an interesting
Don't get caught in the
video.
searchlights. Oh, too late.
Wait, what happens?
Sorry. Hello there, false alarm. We're not criminals serving time here. Just ended up here by mistake.
The worst
This is my press
place
card from the
in
Steambird.
Fontaine.
Oh, what a bummer. Come on, let's take a look around while she's verifying our identities. Bit of a gloomy atmosphere,
They wouldn't need to
huh?
verify mine.
Is it because we're so far underwater? Well, while I'm here, I may as well see what I can dig up on the Duke who runs this place. Any idea who I should talk to in the Fortress of Meripede? Phew, we made it ashore. Am I glad to be back on dry land. I never want to be mistaken for a fugitive again. to the northeast of the court of Fontaine. At
See,
the
I can't
north edge
place
of
where
Aranea's
this would take
Forest
place on
is
the
famous
timeline.
Fontaine Research Institute.
Because by the time we
well,
meet
what's left of it at least. The decision to build it here
Rivesley,
was made by the founder.
we
Alain
already
Guillotin.
have explored most of
He
the
built
areas.
a park next to it in memory of his sister, Marianne, but not much left of that now either. That explosion I mentioned, it was the result of an Archeum experiment gone wrong.
I
Run by
need to
former
climb
senior
that. I still have
technician
not
Edwin
activated the
Eastinghouse.
fast travel point on there.
It devastated the area, but it created some pretty mind-boggling sights here too. Oh, it has to be seen to be believed, so it's still worth a trip. Just, don't get too close, okay? The last thing we want is any more accidents. The Fontaine Research Institute is responsible
They really need to
for
fix that
many
place up.
inventions that have dramatically changed our lives, such as clockwork
They're just
Mecca
working in a
and
ruin. I
Fontaine.
find that really strange.
So
Like,
our
they haven't even
readers
picked
are
that up.
always keen to keep up on the latest developments. Ever since the explosion, the Steambird has been sending crews here to try to get to the bottom of what happened. But the researchers, they seem pretty wary of us journalists.
If they don't get that
So,
building
if you
fixed
ever
at
find
some
anything
point,
out,
it's going to be
make sure
so
I'm the
weird.
first to know. To the south of the Institute lies Aranea's Island, a sacred place in Fontaine.
I
Legend has it that
just
all water veins converge there.
activated the fast
The
travel
most
point there.
famous attraction on the island is the Opera Epiclese.
Oh wait, never mind. I was
where
thinking of the
criminal
other place.
trials are held. We as a nation are strong believers in justice, and we sure do love our trials. No trip to Fontaine is complete until you've seen a trial at the Opera Epiclese. That big fountain in front of the Opera House is the Fountain of Lucine. We have a local custom where we throw Mora into the fountain and make a wish, and a lot of the time, it actually works. In fact, there's a legend about it. Huh? Nadia? Clorand? What are you two doing here?
Oh, Charlotte. So this is where you disappeared to. Glad we ran into you. We
Nice to
just
see
saw
you
Frizzy
guys.
in the city. She says she's been looking everywhere
Now I'm
for
just
you.
hoping for Furina
The
to show up.
editor-in-chief's looking for me? Whoops. Well, I'd better run. So sorry. We'll continue the tour next time. Promise.
Oh no, the date is over.
Ah, you're giving the traveler a VIP tour of Fontaine? Well, how about I take it from here? Save you the trouble?
I can come along too. I'm off the clock right now.
Oh, really? You'd do that for me? Oh, thanks a million, you guys. Well, see you around.
Charlotte's always so full of energy. I don't know what Frizzy needed her for, but let's hope it's good news.
Oh,
Anyway,
she's the boss.
Did you guys come down here from the north? In that case, let's head over to Aranea's Forest next. There's something almost dreamlike about this place.
Well, it has a ghost tree.
Everything about it, from the plants to the scenery, is so different from anywhere else. Like the giant orb of water spouting up from the center of this lake, with gale-force winds that push you away from it.
Yeah.
Or this lake, with a legendary
the Elden
weeping
Ring
willow
tree.
that's the color of fresh water. Huh. Although it's looking a bit wilted right now. Oh, yeah. And there are lots of musical mechanisms in this forest, too. So much fun to play around with. I wonder who made them.
Well, given that they're musical, the first thing that springs to mind is obviously the ancient kingdom of Remuria.
Obviously. Maybe for you, Clorand. You clearly know your history. The place I know best in Aranea's Forest has got to be the Rusty Rudder. This is Pito's territory. And
We've
just
never
like
seen
the
a fish
Fleur
like that.
Sandra, it's a hot spot for intel. Of course, to the unwitting bar patron, it's just an ordinary tavern. Oh, and there's a lot of history in this old shipwreck. They say it was one of the White Armada's armored battleships. I don't know much about Morte region, except that there's not a lot of people here. That ominous tower in the fog certainly doesn't look very inviting.
I have activated the
Oh,
fast travel
there's an
point there,
introduction here.
but
It's
I've never been in
called
there.
The Tower of Ipsissimus, and it was built by an organization called
I did go to the very
Narcissenkreuz
top though and take a
Order.
screenshot, I think.
Yikes. I'm completely out of my depth here.
The Narcissenkreuz Ordo was an extremist group, declared a criminal organization by the courts of justice. The tower has been sealed off for centuries, so
Oh.
it's quite normal that you haven't heard of them before.
Well, sounds like the less I know, the better. Oh, there's another huge area of ruins down here. but my history's a bit rusty, so, I got nothing. Sorry.
There's a lot of places around
Probably
here.
another
They
relic of the
require
Nordseesenkreuz Ordo.
Let's
world
head over
quests
to
to
Bello
explore,
region,
probably.
my home turf. We have a mountain called Mont Autumnki, and to its west is the village of Poisson, where the Spina di Rosula started. It might look like a makeshift underground settlement now, but long ago, before the water level rose, it used to be a bustling harbor.
Why don't you guys
By
fix
the
it
way,
up then?
You know Poisson seafood soup? It's really popular all over Fontaine, and it was created right here by the local fisher folk. It's a simple recipe, but oh boy, it's delicious.
Sounds like your history isn't so rusty after all.
Only if it's about Poisson.
Nothing wrong with that. Knowing your own history is a great starting point.
Well said. Oh, I just thought of something else worth mentioning. The Siege of Poisson, a major moment in our history from several hundred years ago. Back then, the court of Fontaine was carrying out a purge of the Fleuve Cendre, and a man named Eduardo Baker bravely organized a resistance group. They ended up fleeing to Poisson and fought a final battle here. Eventually, the authorities broke through their defenses and arrested him. But even though it didn't end well, the people of Poisson will never forget his deeds. To the west of Bello region is Beryl region, a large
This game is
mountainous
so
area.
big.
It's said that the entire Alinas mountain range is actually the
Imagine if they
remains
did a
of the
similar
giant
video
beast,
for every region.
Alinas from centuries ago. This is the home of
It
all
would be like
Melusines.
hours long.
They were born inside Alinas'
And they're
body.
summarizing so much.
I forget exactly how that worked.
It was 400 or so years ago. The Nordseesenkreuz Ordo and the Marechaussee Phantom fought a great battle within the body of Alinas. And there was an enormous explosion.
What is it with Fontaine and enormous explosions?
Right?
The Marechaussee Phantom brought many machines to the battle, and the explosion sent mechanical parts flying into Alinas' flesh. It was from that collision that the Melusines were born.
Oh,
So
I
at
didn't know
first,
that.
A lot of people saw them as unnatural abominations.
I have not done any
Luckily,
Melusine
the
world
Eudex
quests
overrode the
whatsoever.
people's objections and accepted them into Fontaine society.
Whoa, where is that?
I shudder to think what would have happened to them otherwise.
Most Melusines live in Merici village, which is deep underwater beneath the Beryl Mountains. This would be a difficult dive without a vision, huh? It's very warm down here, and the colors are something else. Once you're inside, it really does feel like you're in the body of a legendary beast. It's so surreal. I remember the Steambird published a list of 100 heroic challenges to try this year, and one of them was trying Merici village cuisine. Let's just say that Melusines have slightly different sensibilities from us humans.
Understatement of the century.
Whoa, where's that?
They have a conch harp here.
Something wrong?
It's nothing. Probably dates back to the days of Remuria, that's all.
I really
Hey,
need to do more world
didn't
quests.
the Marechaussee hunters first appear after the fall of... What was it again?
Remuria.
Right, Remuria. They hunted down monsters or something?
Correct. Thousands of years ago, after Remuria was finally destroyed and sank into the ocean
So it
depths,
seems after
their golems remained in the human
Charlotte
world
left us,
and continued to wreak
they're
havoc.
just talking about these
The
places and we're not
Marechaussee
actually
hunters
walking
were
through them
founded for
anymore.
the sole purpose of fighting those golems. Today, the kingdom of Remuria lies in ruins beneath
I saw
the remote
Celestia
village
up
of
there.
Petrichor, outside of Fontaine's waters. Maybe you'll have the chance to explore it one day and get a glimpse into the history of an ancient dynasty. I'm sure you'd be amazed by its beauty and splendor. The music of Remuria once echoed throughout the high seas.
I don't think
Then
I've been there
again,
either.
It's also possible that there's nothing left
Whoa,
down there
where's
at all.
this?
Petrichor is a peaceful and idyllic place these days. The tumultuous waves
Oh,
of the
it's the
past
new
have
place.
long
Yeah, the
subsided.
place I haven't actually been to. I just
Yeah,
went on the top
A
island.
heck of a lot has changed over the millennia.
You're starting to look a little tired, traveler.
You must be exhausted after visiting so many places. Let's get back to Poisson. I'm ready for a big meal and a good long rest. So, what do you think, traveler? Fontaine's a pretty fascinating place, isn't it?
Say something.
And there's
Say
so
something
much
now.
more to explore. We've shown you around the places that we know, but that's just scratching the surface. Guess you'll just have to discover the rest by yourself.
No,
On
no
that note,
talking.
you'd better get some rest so you can keep
God, this
exploring
game is
tomorrow.
just so beautiful. I love it so much. Despite its flaws. The FOV keeps increasing. All right, that was interesting. I haven't heard anyone talk about this. That was neat. This is probably something you could show to someone who's like slightly interested in the game. To show them just like the beautiful sights and interesting locations, but it's not really spoilery at all. They'll probably forget all of this by the time they get to Fontaine, which is neat. So yeah, that's it for this. I didn't expect to react to this, but I did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.